This video is sponsored by Higgsfield. Have you noticed that no one trusts the news anymore? It doesn't matter if you're a local newspaper or a big media company. Trust of all news sources is declining in America. This is where I come in. In this video, I'm downloading every headline from the New York Times and using data science to analyze 3 of the most commonly held claims about the news to see if there's any truth to them. Let's start with the first claim that I hear more than any other. The news is getting more negative. Like I said, I can't tell you how often I hear this. And if this is actually true, there's good reason for it. There's tons of research that shows that we are much more likely to interact with negative news compared to positive news. But is there even a way to measure if the news is objectively getting more negative? There is actually, and it's a technique called sentiment analysis. This is how it works. Say you were looking at my YouTube comments and read one that said, "I think all bald people should die, I hate you." The sentiment algorithm would classify this as negative. But if there was another comment that said, "Hey, I really love your videos and I have a fun idea for your next project," the algorithm would classify this one as super negative because your idea probably sucks. But we can use this technique to analyze all the news headlines and see if there's any changes over time to see if the news is really getting more negative. So this data set that I have starts from the year 2000 and has 2 million headlines all the way to 2025. And so using this function right here, we go through all 2 million headlines and the algorithm scores it from 0 to 1 based on how positive or negative it is. And after we run that script, we see here that the sentiment score has definitely gone down. We see in the year 2000 it was a little bit above 0, meaning that it's basically neutral. And then right here around 2010, we start seeing a very negative shift. Now to help give the data that I just showed you a little bit more life, we're going to be using Higgsfield to animate our data. And so one tool that I really like is called Vibe Motion, where all I did is I said generate a line graph for this data, and I put in all the different years from that graph that I just showed. So this is the same data from the analysis that we did, but we're using Higgsfield to animate the graph so it looks a little bit better. We can see this exact same trend, but now it's animated beautifully. Again, all this goes to show that sentiment was pretty much normal up until the 2010s, and then we started seeing a steady decrease starting around 2015. Now we can look at some other metrics as well to help tell the story a little bit better. For example, we can look at the volatility of the sentiment to see if there's a greater range of emotions being displayed. And so this graph shows the standard deviation of headline sentiment per year. If you don't know what standard deviation is, it basically tells us how spread out our data is. A smaller number means the data is close together, a bigger number means the data is far apart. And so we can see that our standard deviation in 2000 is around 0.28, but in 2024 it went all the way up to 0.37. This means that we had much more consistent sentiment in 2000, but today we have a much greater range of emotions that's being displayed. Now again, help visualize this data, I put the same prompt into Higgsfield but for that new red line graph that I just showed. And once again, we can see the exact same data from the red chart, but just animated from point to point here. And again, we can see that the standard deviation has definitely gone higher over the years. Another way to show this data is with this graph. This may look confusing, but it's actually pretty simple. In red, we have the percentage of negative news headlines, gray is neutral, and green is positive news headlines. Over time, we can see that the area of the gray is getting smaller and smaller, while the more extreme emotions of negativity or positivity are growing. Now to answer the question of our first claim, the news is getting more negative, we can see here that in 2000, we were less than 20% of news articles that were negative. Going all the way to 2025, it looks like it's around 30%. And so we can confidently say that this claim is true. The news definitely is getting more negative. Now I made this graph just using Python code, and it looks fine, but we'll be using the sponsor of today's video, Higgsfield, to help these graphs tell their story better. So something that I really like about Higgsfield is that it has this feature called Cinema Studio Image, and I'm able to enhance my original content and cut down on hours of post-production. So I'm going to paste in right here our graph from earlier. I'm going to do 3 different generations. I'm going to switch it to video, and then I'm going to select multi-shot auto, 16:9, 1080p with no sound, and I'll set it to 6 seconds. And then I just put in this simple prompt of slowly pan through the graph for B-roll of a YouTube video. I'm going to click generate, and so now I'm going through all the graphs that I made, and I'm having Higgsfield generate videos for all of them. Animating these graphs would take hours, but now I'm able to do this in just a few minutes. Let's move on to the next claim. The second claim is that the news is getting more sensational. Now, sensational in this context means that it's dramatic, shocking, exciting, anything to grab your attention. Now, sensationalism seems to be something that's extremely subjective. How are we actually going to be able to measure this? Well, there's a few ideas that came to mind. So using this model, it's able to classify and give a score for these 26 different emotions. For example, if I said, "I hate bald people, the model is able to classify the top 5 emotions expressed in this sentence: anger, annoyance, and disapproval, and it gives it a score for each of them. On the other hand, if I said, I love bald people, we can see these are the scores and top emotions. And so similar to sentiment analysis, we can run this model through every news headline and look for changes over time. And so this graph here just shows the combined score of excitement, surprise, and fear in the headlines. And these emotions are pretty closely tied to sensationalism. So we can see in the 2010s, we started at 0.005, and in 2024, we skyrocketed all the way up to about 0.025. And then I don't think we have enough data in 2025, which is why it's so low. And so at first glance, this would suggest that the news is in fact getting more sensational. Here's another interesting way to analyze this. This graph shows the percentage of headlines that have an exclamation point or a question mark in the title. In 2000, we had about 3%, but over the last few years, we've been around 9%, with a sharp increase in 2015. Again, this doesn't prove anything, but it's definitely an indicator that headlines are being exaggerated more and more. Another way to look at this is the use of the word breaking or crisis in the headlines. It seems like everything now is breaking news. Well, we can actually look at the proportion of headlines that use those words. In the 2000s, we were almost at 0%. Looking at 2025, it's over 2%. Once again showing that the news is getting more sensational. Now again, to show this data a little bit better about the breaking news, I put in the scores right here for this graph. So again, we see the same data, but just animated for us now. And we can see that the word of breaking and crisis has definitely gone up over the years. So is it safe to say that the news is getting more sensational? According to this data, I believe so. Now, the third and final claim is that the news is getting more divisive. Now, something to keep in mind is that this data only looks at the New York Times headlines. And something to note is that the New York Times is generally considered to have a liberal or left-leaning bias. But again, how are we actually going to measure this? Well, one idea is to make a list of political identity keywords, and then track the use of these words over time. And another way is to make a list of blame verbs, words that insinuate blame on someone. And so using this, we're able to see generally if political identity and blame are becoming more frequent in news headlines. And so we can see here that the frequency of partisan labels is increasing. In 2000, we were around 0, with a spike at 0.8 in 2024. Now, this is still a relatively low number. This means that there's only 1 for every 100 headlines that has one of these political identifiers in the headline. But we see something similar here when we look at blame words. From 2000 to about 2008, we were basically at 0. Then we saw an increase in the 2010s and a sharp spike in 2025. Again, this graph may look like it's exploding, but even with the limited data in 2025, we're only at about 1.2 accusatory verbs per 100, which is about a 1% increase over the last 25 years. I think that's pretty manageable. Now, I have one more claim that I want to show you all. And so this will be a speed round of other claims that I tested. I want to test if the sentiment around AI has gone down. And we can see that in 2000, technology words were around 0.4, meaning it was extremely positive. And now they fall into about negative 0.1, meaning that it's negative. And we can also see the rise of disapproval as the #1 emotion. Another hypothesis is that sentiment around billionaires has gone down. And once again, we had an extremely positive sentiment about 0.3. And now in 2024, it's around 0 or neutral. Another hypothesis that I had is that mentions of climate change have gone down. And I was somewhat right. We had a big spike in 2009, and it's been lower ever since, especially since 2023. Here's a graph that shows the mentions of Donald Trump throughout the years. Obviously a big spike starting in 2014, and sentiment has been pretty volatile over the years. Similarly, here's a graph of Elon Musk showing a big spike in recent years. And again, sentiment doesn't show us anything conclusive. In terms of immigration, it's been a hot topic for forever, and there was a big spike in sentiment starting in 2023. Headlines involving Islam have been somewhat trendy, but sentiment has been largely shifting down, going almost as low as 0.4 in 2022. With topics mentioning Israel and Palestine, there was a spike in 2005, and it's leveled out ever since. And sentiment seems to be somewhat the same throughout the years. LGBTQ topics had a spike in the 2000s and 2010s, and sentiment has pretty much stayed the same. Topics on terrorism had a spike in 2001 for obvious reasons, and 2015, and mentions of Ukraine have spiked in recent years, and sentiment has generally gone down. Now, as you can imagine, I barely scratched the surface of the insights that we can pull from this data, and so if you want to take a look at this code yourself, all of the code and all the visualizations are available exclusively for my channel members. I want to give a big thank you to Higgsfield AI for sponsoring this video. All of the beautiful visualizations that you saw in this video were made with Higgsfield, and they saved countless hours helping me tell the story of the visualizations even better. Click the link in my description to get started with them for free, and I think that's it. Bye.